right, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Wiley Show. I am your host. We're going to get into Andrew Gillum. Breaking news that he finally come out of the closet as being bi. This is not really breaking news. We already know that this man loved both. But I am super excited that he at least was honest. And I want to read a quote of what he wrote. He said this: "You didn't ask me the question, but I don't identify as gay." Gillum, the former Tallahassee mayor, told Tamron Hall in an interview that aired Monday, "I identify as bisexual." Gillum made national headlines in March when he was found surrounded by vomit in the Miami hotel room after police responded to calls after suspected drug overdose. The 41-year-old father of three denied using drugs and said he had gotten too drunk at a wedding that day. Days later, he announced he was entering rehab for depression that led to alcohol abuse. Now, I want to give this, and I want to say this. The problem is, I don't have a problem with him being bisexual. I'm bisexual myself. The issue that I have with this story is that you got caught with prostitutes, with drugs, naked, in your own vomit, and you were married with a family. It is so sad that historically women have to stand on the sideline or they're no good man. When they fall from grace, the woman got to be, and they're embarrassed, the family is embarrassed. And you said, well, I don't identify as gay. I identify as bisexual. Well, you were gay that night when you was caught with the man in that hotel room. Okay? So whether you want to identify it or not, you were caught with men in that hotel room, and they were allegedly said that they were prostitutes. Okay? And you were naked. Okay? And that poor wife of yours got to be embarrassed to sit there knowing that you trifling ain't no good, but this is a business, this is a political family, and you may not have a political future. Now, I do believe your political future is over as being a future VP choice, future president, future governor. I think that you as a black man, black folks are not going to vote for a black man that was getting it in with other men when you were married to a black woman. Women would be skeptical of going to vote for you, okay? So I do believe that his career is over. Now, I didn't get the chance to see the Tamron Hall interview in its entirety. I just saw some little snippets of it because guess what? I was asleep, knocked out, and I had some visions, okay? So I'm going to get into that. But I am praying for his family, praying for his children because they yet got to deal with their daddy in the hotel room getting caught up in his vomit and was naked and with some men. So can you imagine the hurt and the frustration that his wife and his children go through, because that make her look weak. And it's so sad that, you're doing this interview and you're coming out, and it's just so sad. And this said, don't blame your father for his alcoholism. Your father did not tell you to take your clothes off, suck on some peen with your ashy kneecaps. Your father didn't tell you to do any of those things. So don't bring your father alcoholism inside the play. You got involved in that and was doing the booty bump and no telling else you was doing up in that hotel room. Because y'all was doing something real nasty. Drugs, prostitutes, you was naked, and vomit. That means a lot of things were going on in that hotel room. Okay? So just take accountability that you did this. Don't bring your father in it. Don't bring this. Don't try to put the blame on your daddy because your daddy did not get caught up in a hotel room butt naked with no clothes on and then drowning in their own vomit. Okay? Now, I do feel for the wife. Now, the wife, she wanted an interview with Tamron Hall. She wanted a segment by herself. And she wanted to speak to her outside the husband. Did not want to sit next to him in every segment. She wanted a segment just Tamron and the wife. So I'm happy that for the season 2, so this open up season, that Tamron Hall got this interview because we all wanted to know. Now, people that live in Tallahassee, Florida, or that live in Florida, they ain't shocked. They was like, we ain't shocked. We knew he went both ways. Where y'all from? They was like, we knew he went both ways. I knew they went both ways. I knew he went both ways, so I'm not shocked. I had got one of my producers. She live in Florida. She was like, Wiley, why are you shocked? We're not shocked. We knew that the man went both ways. I knew that he did not sound as masculine, and I had my doubts, but he was a good politician. I wanted him to win for governor. I was rooting for Andrew Gillum in Florida, and I was rooting for Stacey Abrams, Georgia. I was really rooting for him because his future was bright as a future president, future VP. President Obama co-signed for him. So, but your peen got you in some mess. Okay? Your peen got you in this mess, and that peen got you in filth and embarrassed your family, and now your political career is over. It's so sad. I don't think they're going to be married forever. I eventually think the wife going to leave because the money going to dry up. Who gonna want a black man that was naked, caught up in his own vomit, black? Who want that? She's gonna eventually leave him because she know that you don't want me only. You still want men, and that is a risk. Not in every situation. That's a risk because you had a man that cheated on you, and you cheated on her with another man. So she already have doubts. And see, Tamara Hall ain't gonna really ask the questions like the questions she need to be asked. Now, I didn't watch the interview. Now, if any of y'all seen the interview, I'll put the number on the screen, and I want to know, did y'all see the interview and give me your reasoning about the interview? But I want to know, I want to speak to black women. How would you feel if you wake up in the news, your man butt naked, not vomiting on his body? How would you feel? Would you still be with that man? Yay or nay? And call in and give me your answer. Okay? Now, And when I saw it, I said, I really feel for his wife. And people kept saying it was a political setup. He set his own self up. He booked the hotel. He went to the hotel allegedly. You went inside the room. It was no setup. You the one that got caught up with prostitutes. You would have came out better getting caught up with somebody that ain't into the lifestyle, got somebody that's on a DL, and did get too drunk. You had wild love making, wild type of stuff went on in that hotel room. Okay? I don't believe that it was a conspiracy. I believe you were horny and you went on, you cheated on your wife. Okay? You make bisexual men look bad. That's why I never wanted to play with a woman. I wanted my mind to be made up. I never wanted to get married to a woman unless I want her only, and I wanted to be faithful to her. I never wanted to play that game. I know people that play that game. I have a friend that I used to grow up with, and he moved to a different state, got married to this woman, did not want to have sex with the woman, because he did not like women like that. He really was into men, but he used her as a covering to cover up him to pretend to live this life that I want to be a preacher, I want to be a deacon, I want a wife. And so it was terrible because she eventually left because he wasn't with her. And if she would have called me, because I was forbidden to go to the wedding, I was forbidden to go because they knew I would expose that. And these church folks allowed this man to get married and not warn that woman. And I said, why y'all ain't gonna warn her? She's sleeping with a man that don't like her at all, and she's gonna get into a mess. Fast forward, they divorced, and now he got with another woman. Hold on, go. What are you coming in here for? I'm doing the show. Huh? I don't have it. Go in there. I'm doing that thing. Come on, go. I'm doing my show.
You don't have to stop. I wasn't even saying that.
Absolutely. Bye. Then he got with another woman. And again, he's living on a DL. He got with a whole nother wife and still on the DL. And I was like, what the wow? Why are you still on the DL? And I'm like, you get another wife, and he get the ones that are innocent, that are not. He have a certain type. And it's another thing, though. And I'm going to say this. I ain't going to say no names. And he have another issue. And another issue is he like people underage. And I'm going to just say that. And I'm going to drink my coffee with that. And I told somebody, I said, anybody that's covered for him, you just as evil as him. Anytime you touch my sister and she was underage, I know that spirit is still there. And his aunt told it too. But then she want to recount her story, try to protect something. But it don't matter. It don't matter. I know. I don't want to be around you. How you serving and protecting you like underage girls? How you serving and protecting? I will never forget it. That book definitely got to come out. It got to. That got to be in chapter 4 or 5. I can write a whole chapter on that. But he's dealing with another. He got another wife. He liked men and underage girls. Okay. All right. Now moved on. Now I could have warned. They could have called me. I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But can you handle the truth? That's the thing. And it's so sad how people be knowing all of this, because I ain't the only one that know it. They just don't want to say nothing. They don't want to, get involved. But I just want to say this. I do feel for Mrs. Gillum. And Mrs. Gillum is in my prayers. She is beautiful. And I just don't like it that man, you got her in a mess with children, and yet you still want to go out there and experience your wild oats. You embarrassed the family, and you got caught. Not only because what's done in the dark, and I guarantee you that wife was a praying woman. I guarantee you that wife wanted to know the truth. I guarantee she had many days that she had doubt. I don't think this is the first time Andrew Gillum was cheating on his wife with another man. I think this is the first time that he had got caught, because that wife was praying for this to happen. And she wanted to know the truth, and the truth, wow, got her. Front page news. I do believe that this is not the first time Andrew Gillum have done this. I believe that this is the first time he have been caught. This third time that he have been caught. And I'm glad that his wife got confirmation, and she probably already knew. But sometimes you need to get embarrassed to go ahead and move away. I think she knew. I just think now she can't lie to herself. Well, it ain't really that bad. Now he really have a problem that he's a drunk, he's a drug addict, and he ain't hitting on nothing. Okay, he have this other life, and thank God that he ain't the governor of Florida, because Florida can't be going through all that type of stuff. So that's maybe it's meant that he probably couldn't win that. Maybe God said, "No, we ain't give you this power, because you can't be in the governor mansion getting drunk with men's and having a whole orgy in the mansion party." No. It is sad, though. I feel like crying, though. But I will hit up Andrew Gillum, though. I can leave him a voice note. And, if he's single, I'll talk to him. Because, I talk to Andrew Gillum if he's single. And his career can be revived. He's got to leave his wife and just come out and date a white man. His career can come back. Uh-oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I said it out loud. He can just go on and dump her, get him a white man, and go ahead on. He could revive his career. He could revive his career. Just dump that black woman and get him a white man, and his career is be on and popping. His political career could be on back and popping. I do believe he's gonna leave that black woman and get a white man. I do believe it. I do believe it. And he's going to be like, well, I was suppressing my feelings all this time, and I love her. We are friends. We are co-parenting. But I think it's time for me to leave and live my life of what I really want to. And this is my new man, Robert. And then Robert come out there, skinny bottom, loose bottom, white, sniff, sniff. I can see that. Y'all don't believe me, but I can see that happening. I can see that happening. He gonna leave that black chocolate, thick chocolate woman. Is she thick? I might have to talk to her too. Let me see. What's her DM like? Let me see if I can see her DM. Is she still married? She probably needs some therapy. I give her some therapy, all right. Let me see. Let me make sure. Okay, I ain't got her Instagram. If I had her Instagram, I'd leave her a good old voice note. I'm gonna leave it to her at nighttime. When she's scrolling, probably put a list. I'll leave her a little voice note. But anywho, let me move on. I think I want to know, and it could be a possibility that she did not know. It could be a possibility that she did not know, and it could be that she probably asked him, he denied it. It's so many things. I used to read books on this, and it's so sad because I always tell people, I am so honest. I always let them know this is what I do. Some say nay, yay, they leave me alone. Some say no, we still talk. But I never wanted to hide what I was doing. Never wanted to hide it because I don't want the woman's heart to be broken. And I don't want to play with a woman's heart and play with her emotions. And I never was that type of guy. But I've had a friend that did that. And yeah, so I'm reading your chat. She knew it was our, yeah. So I hope, yeah, we open up the phone lines and let y'all talk about it. I want to get into Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. They had their versus battle. Let me tell you, Gladys won hands down, okay? The reason why I say Gladys won that versus battle because Mama was singing. She was singing, and them vocals, for her being her 70s, she still sound like she in her 20s. She got on that versus battle and saying, on that midnight train to Georgia. She was singing. She got up there and sang. Patti, I don't know. Patti wasn't doing what Patti used to be. Patti tried to kick off her shoes and hit her kneecap and hurt her knee. And Patti, sit down. You get up in age. You can't be just flipping off your shoes like that. So I'm just going to say, you know, she hit her kneecap. Oh, it's kind of sore. You know, doggone well, you can't be up there doing all in your 70s. Sit down somewhere and put on some flip-flops and take off them heels. That's a sign that you should be wearing them pumps. It's the sign that you should be wearing them pumps. And then Patti didn't know the lyrics. Can y'all put the lyrics on the screen? Put the lyrics. Where's my lyrics? Where's my background singer? Lady, ma'am, you should have been studying. You had all this time. Stop making all them sweet potato pies, collard greens, and dressing, and you should have been out there rehearsing your lyrics. You should have been rehearsing your lyrics. What the world you been doing? You've been quarantined in that big mansion with them black maids. You should have been in there rehearsing. Because Gladys, she came and she rehearsed. She knew her song. She didn't stumble off a lyric. She knew it. And I don't know what was going on with the sound guy. I'm like, how in the world? Y'all got all these thousands, millions of people watching, and y'all ain't got the sound together. Get that sound right. I was screaming at the phone. Get the sound right. Then it cut off. Then they have to reboot back on. This is why versus battle, if you have a great team that does a great job, fly them out to every city. Because every sound, don't try to get different sound guy for a different city. Get a sound team that does great, or DJ team, a sound team that does a great job, and book them for every city. Don't keep getting all these different people and all that. Do y'all do rehearsal? Do rehearsal sound like does the sound somewhat wasn't right? But Gladys did it. Now, because it ended in the middle, because I was watching, because I was reading my Shine King book, and I was actually, you know, watching the verses battle, listen to them. And at first, because it opened up with both of them like singers, they opened up, first of all, as a talk show. Baby, I don't know if we was watching a Gladys and Patti. Then Patti said, period, poo. Then she talking about, I got a flip-flop. I love my flip-flop. Baby, they was talking about chicken, ribs, baked ribs. They was just talking about cooking. I'm like, I really love that. But then I was getting tired of them talking. I'm like, girls, lady, ma'am, we not here for y'all to be reminiscing on the past. We want the music. So they was out there just doing all that. We want the music. We want the music. And Patti was just doing too much. But Gladys got up there and she sang. Gladys let it be known that, baby, I'm going to be out here with these vocals. Okay? And so I give it to Gladys. Patti was doing a little bit too much. But, you know, but it was a lot of talking. I said, good God Almighty. But it was a genuine friendship they forgot about. They forgot about the cameras. The camera, we're live. Are we live? We're live. Oh, okay, Patti. Let's just go through hi. Oh, girl. Hey, girlfriend. You know, they ain't like these fake people. Hey, friend. Hey, man. They really have a genuine friendship. The cameras on. It wasn't fake. You know, it wasn't forced. You know, I'm so glad Gladys did not do what Brandy did and went out and started giving out poems and stuff. She just really, they was just talking. It was great. It was great. Yes, it was. We live? Are we live? Yes, we live. What's up, YouTube land, Twitter land, Instagram, chat, BGT. I just thought Maddie was gonna come out. Are we live? I just thought she was gonna come out there and say so. I'm about to say, come on, Miss Mary. I thought Miss Mary was gonna come up on the stage and be like, "What's up, YouTube land, Twitter land, Instagram land, think." I thought she was gonna come up on that stage. I know. I thought she was gonna come up on that stage, yo. I really thought she was gonna. Oh, Miss Mary. I thought they was gonna come up on that stage, but okay. I just a little thought my mind just going a little weird. I had other little jokes, but I can't say these other jokes because y'all too timid. Y'all ain't ready for these other jokes. I had other little jokes that I was gonna say because I wrote it down and it's in my mind. But I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna move on because I could say it, but I ain't gonna say it. I could say it, but I ain't gonna say it because y'all can't handle my jokes. Okay, some jokes that I just know I can't say. I'm learning too. Some stuff you can't say. No, I ain't saying it. All right. But I enjoyed the versus battle. I think the versus battle was an incredible versus battle. It was good because I started downloading their songs, Patti songs, Gladys songs. I really started to fall for Gladys. Like I had like a Gladys night, and I was like boo-hooing. Like that music was taking me on the train of emotions. And then it was a Miss Warwick. They had them on. I'm not your. I'm like, look at the vocals. I'm like, come on, baby. She put down them singers and came out. I'm like, y'all better come on. I was in that just singing. I said, come on. I was in there getting my life. I said, you better come on to that all white just sang it. That was like off the chain. Okay, now I don't know what song was that. It's a Superwoman or something like that. I never heard it before. I think I heard it like one time. And then what was that? What was the other song they were singing? Oh my gosh. What was the other song that they got up there and sang? Because I remember that song. I don't know, because I would love that. Well, back in the day, Miss Weber really can, she can sing back in the day, but her vocals is pretty much shot now, old age caught up with her and stuff. So she's awesome, the big old glass. So I know she was going to deliver. They were a class act aging gracefully. Yes. Yeah. So I'm here for it. Miss Warwick and so. Shout out to all the divas that performed last night. Shout out to all the divas. Yes, was White says I'm not your Superwoman. The song is originally Diane Warwick that did better. DJ just did not let the lady sing because they both can sing. Yes, I think the DJ should have did a better job. Okay. Now, I want to read this comment to you all, and I told y'all we will open up the phone line because some of y'all wanted to call in. So let me put the number down here. I do want to get some of y'all calling about Andrew Gillum, and I want about 3 people. If 3 people can call in today, because I don't want this to be a lengthy video. But I had got a comment on my page, and I posted it on Instagram, but I want to read it to you all because I posted we are 200 subscribers away from 12K. Y'all are loving the morning show. Shout out to all of my producers. I'm predicting 2021 we'll gain 1,000 more subscribers. So I went down there and I got this one comment from this viewer. They said, "Well, I understand you view your lazy eye as a brand. It really is a deterrent. And entertainment looks matter, unfortunately. Your numbers will increase at a more rapid pace if you work on your physical Zeke. I hope I said it right. I'm just being honest and blunt. I think you have what it takes." So this particular viewer got triggered by my eye and he posted it. But I want to say this and I want to do commentary on it. And I posted it on IG because I love when people, they say something and it triggers me, right? Because I can remember growing up and I want to do some things and they used to always target my eye and teachers, other students. So this is not so uncommon, but it just triggered me as a little boy. And I remember hearing that, oh, you can fix it. You need to fix this. There's no way you could do this. No way you could do television. No way you could do acting. Your eye this, your eye this, eye this. But there's so many people that have ways in their talent, like Forrest Whitaker, look at the other guy, Michael Strahan, got the gap in his mouth, Oprah Winfrey, no eyebrows. So everybody have their own thing, and if their talent outweigh what you think probably is not beautiful. And sometimes you have, and what I've learned, that you have to have self-confidence when you are yet in this business, in this entertainment business, because you cannot be in this business. I tell you this, I developed thick skin in this business, and you got to have that confidence in this business. Keep your hair cut and all of that. And if I wanted to get my eye fixed, you could once I get the money, but I won't, because that's a part of the brand, and it's millions of boys, millions of girls that have the eye or have the condition that I have, and they need to see that yet you can be on camera as well, that you don't have to wear sunglasses, that you don't have to wear sunglasses to hide what you have. I remember I met Brandy, and Brandy was like, you don't have to wear glasses unless you want to, because I was so ashamed of my eye. So I rarely took pictures, and if I did, I love wearing sunglasses to hide it. And I'm like, you don't have to. If you want to have you show what God made you, you know what I'm saying? And I thank God for that. But I used to wear shades, and I said, wear shades. But I said, you know what? I don't want to wear no shades all the time, especially in the house. I want to wear shades all the time. I had a person, he said, you should wear shades and all that. I said, no. I said, I like the way I look, and I'm very confident the way I look. And it's more so my personality that really makes me who I am. So, so when I heard that, and you already know who was the other guy, the one that only got one eye. Who was the one? Who was that rapper that only got one eye? And that man slinging so much peen out this world. That man only got one eye. What is his name? Okay, and he's singing so much peen and got so many, you know, to anybody else. You know, what's the one that got the one eye? Fatty Wap got the one eye, and that didn't stop him, because everybody was like, but that he made it sexy. He made it hot. He made it fashionable to really rock the one eye. So, you know, thank God for having two. So what? The other one made wonders. It go this way, go that way. But I have so much confidence in this show. And it is not easy. And you are competing against somebody that are good looking than you, that are more beautiful than you. But baby, I got the talent. Okay. I know what I have. I got the talent. Now, the phone lines is open, people. So if you call in, give your opinion, baby, I got the talent. And that's something that I thank God for. That is a God-giving gift. When you can step in a room, you can entertain. I've been in spaces because of my gift. I've been in rooms, and one day it's going to come full circle where you're going to see my gift in a more mainstream manner. You're going to see it. Okay? It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. I've been working with. I got a phone call. It's a show that may want me to host their reunion show. They're called because they're talking about doing it via Zoom. Not G Status, but another show had reached out. So we shall see how that goes. But I'm like, okay, because that's what I want to host some of these reunion shows. You know, I want to host some of these reunion shows. So that's my gun of my goats. And we will be watching G Status ATL Hustle, and we may go live after G Status go live, okay? And the reason why I say this, people, is because I know what I bring to the table, okay? And my people continue to reach out to G Status, let them know to let Wiley host the show on G Status. I would love to host G Status ATL Hustle, and I know I'm going to be big and more mainstream, quote unquote famous. You know, I know that's going to happen for the Wiley Show. It's bound to happen because guess what? I'm working. I'm on that path. Okay, I'm in the path. When you're out here in media, working on YouTube in a digital space, and to reach how many millions of people we have reached. We have reached over 3 million people, 3 million people in counting and more on the Wiley Show. That's 3 million folks that this black man with a cross eye have touched. 3 million on this channel. And that number going to be doubled by next year. Triple and quadruple. It's just going to happen because we are putting out content every single day. Even when the people got on the phone and they said, Wiley, can you do shorter videos? We done that. So we listen to the producers. Let's go to the phone line 2041. Caller, you on the air.
Hi, Wiley. How are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing good. I don't care about the celebrities and stuff, but I wanted to encourage you because, I really don't feel fussing today.
Okay.
When the person made a comment about your eye, you ignore that person. I have a nephew that was born with a birth defect where one of his eyes didn't completely form. And so he has to wear a prosthetic lens over his eye. It has never stopped him. He went out for The Voice and he almost made it. He can actually sing. And he's just a positive all-around guy. And you kind of remind me of him. So I just want to encourage you to keep going. And when people say dumb stuff, they can kick rocks.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're so right about that. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. And so that is why, you do the show and we invoke conversations on the show. Some people call me, they were upset, they were crying. I said, don't cry, because I'm not crying. Because I hear what they are saying and I'm not upset. I just posted that to invoke conversation because this is the comment that you see public. I get emails, nasty emails on the regular. I get people to say, this is why you're not growing, because you this, because you that, because you this and that. You hear this constantly. And that don't deter me. It encouraged me because I tell people around me, I said, let me show you these emails. They said, oh, all these nasty emails. I said, because they watch the show, they are viewers. And I get viewed because at least you watching. I don't care how nasty you talk. When you talk about, it's some people that watch this show so thoroughly. They break down what segment I talk about, who I focus on too much, and they do it on a religious basis. And I responded. I said, obviously, I'm doing something right because you watching every single show to criticize. So obviously, the show is so good that you get out your notebook, your pen, and you write these lengthy 8, 9, 10 paragraphs of what you think about the Wiley Show. And I'm here for it. And I read it all because what it does, because when we started the morning show, and we started doing the morning show, that's when we shift in more support of this show. For the past weeks, I get emails, messages, and we started to grow. Then we are now at 11,000.8. We're less than 200 subscribers away. And because we have targeted a base of folks in the morning, and we put on a damn good morning show every single day, even if I don't necessarily wake up, we still go live. And then what we do, we chop up the video and we restream it. And for folks that may miss something, may catch something, and then we get that viewership. So that is what it is, people. And on this show, we talk about it and we break stuff down on this show. Now, we talk about a lot of people on this show, and I don't apologize for talking about people that gives me money, okay, and that are profitable to talk about. We talk about people that are popping and that I know personally that we can go back and forth. It's a very profitable business. Let me tell you this. My radio reached out to Wiley yesterday via DM. She was responding to me about the Tasha K thing. And I put out a narrative, and then we're going to get into Joe Budden stuff. I put out a narrative about Tasha K. I said, reason why she's doing it, her strategy is to go back and forth for a response because it grows her channel. If you look at other YouTubers, and I got to be careful naming YouTubers, so I won't name a lot of people in here because I don't want to trigger nobody. But it's very profitable. When you look at some of these YouTubers, some of your faves, go to their popular videos, look at their top 20 videos, and tell me who in their top 20 that they're talking about. And come back to me, and then I'm going to tell you why. Because it's a strategy to talk about certain people. Certain people you can talk about can instantly grow your channel. Somebody made a video about Tasha K. That's their highest rated video. And they just started blogging. And they talked about Tasha got their highest views because Tasha is so problematic. And she's such a force to be reckoned with on YouTube. You can put her name in the title Verzus Cardi B name and get more live viewers, right? So it is a strategy. And I learned that a long time ago. That's why certain people, ain't nothing personal, this is business that I can discuss. So, because I know my audience will love it because the numbers damn sure don't lie. So I will discuss you and talk about you because it's business. because it's business. And these other folks, when they come on down Wiley's neck, I always say to them, do you talk about Tasha? And if you talk about Tasha, you shouldn't put the finger towards me. Because why do you talk about Tasha? And then they say, well, I talk about Tasha because she's big and this is good business. Then that's why people talk about you or this person or that person, because it's business. Don't take it personal. This is a business, and you may get talked about today and you may get talked about tomorrow. You can't get upset. I can't get upset. People used to talk about me in 60, 70 videos. Every single day they used to talk about Wiley. They got tired because I didn't give them the response. Because with me, I can let you talk about me, and you don't have to give a response. But for me, I'm just an amazing storyteller that you cannot respond to Wiley because, number one, he got the eye that works for him. He's bipolar and he's funny. So what he discussed, you can't ignore it because your base, they laugh and kikiing. Do you see what Wiley said? They're laughing, they're enjoying it, and they think it's funny because it works, because it's not malicious. It's just me. I know how to describe a person and you be very, very interested, and it works. And that's a creative mode. That is a formula that you use. Mainstream media, CNN, they anti-Trump. They talk about Trump. Fox News, they uplift Trump, relive conservative values. And that's why they're the highest rated news organization on cable networks. Because you do what works. Period. And I don't feel shame when people do it because the people watch it. They love it. They consume it. And we talk about other people. So I don't get mad or upset when people do that. So I'm reading the stuff really irks my nerves while he's handsome. Right, I don't know I'm handsome. It's just certain people say stuff that I've been called when I was in Fernwood Elementary School, when I was in Bass Elementary School, and when I was in Chicago Military Academy. None of these jokes that I hear about Wiley that are new. The only thing that is new is you can't deal with a Wiley clapback, because I know exactly what you're going to say about Wiley because I heard it for decades. So I already know what you're going to say about me, but can you handle my clapback? Most people can't handle a Wiley clapback. They can't. I know how to get under people's skin because I know what you're going to say about Wiley, but can you handle it? And please don't bring up family, because I could bring up your family and find something and make a whole joke out of it. But you ain't going to be able to handle it. At least me, I can handle it because I talk about my family on the record and get an old nasty gray coin to mention them up. And people are interested. Now, what did he say about his family? Ooh, do another story time about your mama. Do another story time. I love mama, but mama, you know, when you abuse your vocal cord and smoke all them cigarettes, you get that deep raspy voice. And I love my mama, but she was just good material to talk about because that's who I was around. And she talked about people. So I got that from her. I will never forget it. I was in the special ed class, and we had the IEP meeting. Y'all remember that? Anybody that's in special ed know you had to go to an IEP meeting where you get the social worker, the doctor, everybody in this conference room talking. And then they were talking about, oh my gosh, Wiley is getting bullied. He's getting bullied and everything. I'm so sad that he's going through this. Then another teacher was like, Wiley, yes, he do be getting in trouble. Sometimes they be trying to bully him. But this young man, he noticed her musty tail, hot onion breath. He be talking about folks, and he just does it constantly over and over and over and over and over. And she knew it because I used to know. Once I found out that I can roast and gag, baby, I would go in high school. And please don't be overweight. I used to get them together. Please don't struggle to get into that desk. Because, baby, you going to hear something. You might hear me pass gas. You might hear me say, earthquake. You might hear me say, where's your neck? It was a lot of stuff that I used to say, back in the day, because I learned how to use my mouth. Now, I was roast people in elementary. It didn't play. Baby, I used to roast people all the time. I think my teacher, she was in a house fire. And I think but half of her face was a little burnt, a little crispy. I said, what did I call her? I think I called her burnt toast or something that I called the teacher. She said, what did you call me? I said, you look like a crispy burnt toast. And I remember I used to say that to the teacher. She used to whip me and everything. I couldn't stand that lady, but that beat me. But I don't know what I called the woman, but we used to go back and forth. I used to do it, but she was good looking, but she was crispy, have well done, have crispy burnt. But that's what it was. But back in the day, I used to say a lot of stuff, So yeah, I did. I used to get it in school. I used to get it in on school. I wish that we could find I wish that we had the cameras and stuff like that of the stuff that I used to come up with. It used to be crazy. Me and my cousin, we were walking downtown. Oh, I can't tell this joke because it's vulgar. She's like, what did I asked that lady? I was so funny. I said it under my breath. You giving away some. I told that lady, if you was giving away some punani, maybe I signed up. She was like, B, what you say? Oh, I ain't say that. I was telling that lady, she wanted me to sign up or something, and I didn't want to sign it. She's getting on my nerves. And then I said under my breath, yeah, if you was giving away some punani, I would sign up. And she was like, B, what you say? I ain't say nothing. I said, I ain't gonna be able to sign up today. I'm busy. I remember I said that. Now, mind you, I thought I was saying it in my head. I didn't think that she heard me. I just said it. I used to say a lot of stuff. I did. I really did. Yeah, I used to do a lot of stuff in school. Some stuff I will not discuss yet. Just made me holler, and my nurse came up here to check on me. And yeah, so that's what I went through. I went through a lot as a black man, but that was it. I did stand up to the bullies. I started to use my mouth. I started to use my voice to clap back, and I knew that they did not like Wiley, to make fun of you. Wiley to do this. No, they don't. They did not like that, and I knew that from a long time. People can't stand what Wiley say. They can't stand it. They can say whatever, but let Wiley say something. It was a problem. Wiley, answer the phone. I need to be calling next. Okay, well, call in, baby. Call in. Ooh, Lord, this coffee got me sweating. I ain't got the fan on or nothing. I'm going to have to stand up and turn that fan on, child. Jay, I was just thinking that he's going to get all that back through his kids. Yes. As of all, will it get their village much faster than more? Yeah, absolutely. Much faster. And I know once I probably had kids, they're going to have a mouth. They're going to be sneaky because I was a very sneaky child. I was a very nosy child, very adventurous. I used to just do whatever. And I was and I used to steal. Yes, I did. I used to go in my mom's purse and take that money. She said she ain't got it. Please. Okay. I'm going to go up in there, steal his $8. And then I started to get worse. Then I stole her $20. And, she could notice if a $20 bill was missing. And my dad knew that I stole it because I would have like a dumb look on my face. So right by Fernwood School down the street, it was a church, Fernwood Church. It was like a Methodist church. And they had like an after school program. So the director was like, you can take them upstairs to this. So my stepdad beat my tail. I got all this sugar all on this cup, and that's what's all on my lips. My stepdad beat my tail up there because I stole the $20. Surely did. I stole $20. Stole it from my mom. Give me 1 second, you guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, all right. Woo. Let me turn this fan on the child with this hot coffee and all of that. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, y'all, I'm back. Yeah, so that's what that was the piece, right? And but I will tell you this, that I love growing up with a lot of siblings. We used to, child, my siblings used to talk about us. We used to talk about each other, baby. Roasting and the stuff they used to say. Oh gosh. We used to just get it in. We when I tell you, when it's time for roasting and gagging, we would get them jokes in. Like, you did this and da 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 da. You ain't got no daddy. Where your daddy? We used to hit below the belt in our roasting gag. We was those type of kids. We used to hit below the belt. My mom did not afford us no babies. Couldn't afford us no bikes. Not no babies. Couldn't afford us no bikes. So our next door neighbors left and they went out of town. And we knew how to get the lock open to get those bikes. So we got our next door neighbor bikes. And my dad and my mom was like, who y'all get, Miss Son? So she said we could use the bikes, Ma. It's okay. She know about this. And we were riding them bikes like it was ours. We all in it, all in the neighborhood, all on different blocks. Because back in the day in that neighborhood, you could ride your bike through there. It wasn't really no violent neighborhood. Because most people that was in the neighborhood was like middle class, as I thought. It wasn't dangerous. Not now, because most people was like homeowners. So anyway, we used to ride, and I think I destroyed one of the bikes. I think my leg got caught or something. One of the bikes got messed up, and we got caught. And my mom was like, I gotta pay all this. I'm like, they gave us permission. She don't know what she talk about. She losing her mind, mama. You know she getting up in age. We was talking about their granny. We was talking about they grandma losing her mind. She know that she gave us permission. She told her before she went. She said, Marquise, y'all can use the kids' bike. It's okay. Go ahead on. And now she don't remember. I don't understand. I was really good at doing all that type of stuff. Then eventually, of course, we did get our butt cooked. We did. We did get our butt kicked. We did. We were laughing. We did get our butt kicked. We did. She gave us a good butt because we deserve it. But we went and took them bike. We took it out of no one even. I'm like, how? Like it was our bikes, man. We ride the bikes, and it was like, how did y'all get these bikes? Who told y'all get it? We were like, they said we could use it. It didn't matter. It's our bikes. So what? And we would ride it, and then I messed it up. But nevertheless, when I went back to that old neighborhood, I was just flooded with just memories of just like people all in that block. I would love to meet all of them guys on that block. Like, I would love to see what are they doing, if they're married, if they got kids, if they're in prison, or if they gone. I would love to, because I remember that block, and I wish that I could have got out the car, but it's too dangerous now. I gotta have security, and just went through different parts of that, like to really, really show you. But yeah, I remember that growing up. Yes. Wow. Okay. Maybe you drove through were nice in Chicago. The homes are beautiful, different than California homes. Yes. It's still semi-nice, but it was much nicer back when I was growing up. I remember when my mom, we moved into that house that I showed y'all. It was so nice. And it was just, I thought my mom was rich. I was a kid. So when we moved in there, I thought we were rich. I really believed so. And I really thought my next door neighbors, they were rich because they had their house was all white. It was a white picket fence. It was really like the nicest house on the block. And they had the bikes and they had everything. And then that's when I started to get caught up, and I knew that I was attracted to the same sex, because there was this guy. I'm not gonna say his name. Ain't gonna say his name. I might say his full government name. Y'all might track him down. But yeah, I remember that. And he was the first guy. We were both like 8 or 9 years old, and this is why I tell parents to watch your children. And we were watching. I think it was Toy Story. It was a movie. I think it was Toy Story. Was it Toy Story? I forgot what we watched. It was a cartoon. I think it was Toy Story. And after that movie went on, we did some things. And we were kids, and I never told my mom about it. Never told her about it. And it was that way. And yeah. And that's when we used to we used to play cops and robbers. And no one knew And we used to mess around in the alleys. I was so attracted. I could just steal to this probably, in the alleys. We used to mess around everywhere. And we knew that it was wrong because we would hide and do these things. In the alleys, I was exploring. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that it was great. Playing, kissing all around, playing all that. Now, mind you, and all that. And I cried when he left. I cried when he had left, because they eventually moved. And I was crying, but I was really, really exploring. And then I remember my friend, I'm not going to say his name, at Bass, that's when I went to Bass Elementary School. We got on the party line. Now, I never thought he was gay. I never thought it. And then we got on the party line. Then I started, he was like, oh, you sound like your mom. You sound like a girl. So I started getting on the party line, and I used to start talking just like a woman. And I used to just get up on there, get these men in my house. I would catfish with my voice. I didn't know what catfish was. But when I was a teenager in the 8th grade, I would get these grown men to come to my grandmother's house because she would go to church on Friday nights. So these grown men would come in. I was in the 8th grade. I would never forget. I was in the 8th grade, and they had the biggest thing I never saw before. I'm like, what? And they had to be they were predators because I told them. They were like, what 8th grade? What grade are you in? Because they have to do that because I'm like in 8th grade. And and I used to, I think one day I could have almost got kidnapped because it was a white guy that I was on the party line with. And he said, get in the car. And I knew some told me, if you get in this car, your family will never see you again. I ran. I knew that he probably would have kidnapped me, probably would have drugged me or whatever. And I met him in that McDonald's parking lot on Ashland, right there, that McDonald's parking lot. And I said, some told me, if you get in this car, your family will never see you again. And I'm so glad I just ran back to my grandmother's house. But I remember that because he was so adamant, just get in, just come on, I'll bring you back home and all that. I used to do a lot of crazy stuff. That's how I tell people to watch your kids, because back in the day, it wasn't social media. So our social media was the party line. It was the party line. It was that. Well, after these stories, I would never leave a child home alone, not even 5 minutes. And I used to get on that party line, and I would tell you. And, anytime I watch Umbra 09 when she does her segment, I get flashback, and I can remember being on that party line and the nasty stuff that I would say. I used to talk to white men, and I used to get so turned on when they used to say the N-word and talk to me nasty and, talk to me like a slave master. I remember I used to say that stuff. And I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I used to talk about that stuff. Yes, that used to turn me on. It did. When we used to say that turned me on. Still do to this day. That still kind of turn me on today too. But it used to back in the day. I said, talk to me like a slave. And he used to do all that. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, talk to me like a slave. He was talking to me like a slave. And he was talking to me, and I was like, whoa, yes. That is everyone. Yes. I did. I still kind of do like that, though. And I'll be on the party line. And it was with my voice. And and I used to have like a rush of being another character. I used to have a rush of doing that. And thank God that internet helped catch these kid bread. Yes. Now poor little great Wiley learned too much to him. I've never seen a man thing. It was like big. It was like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do. And he was instructing me how to do it. Now, as talking about this, these were predators. These were predator men. Like they were grown men. And my grandmother had like a basement apartment. And so I would go down there. And the things that I would do, and I used to try to strip, dance on them, grind on them, stuff that I would see from movies, because I wasn't that experienced. And I was like, okay, you got to go, because I think my granny is coming back. And then, they would leave. And I used to do that in 8th grade. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then later on, that friend that put me onto the party line, I met him at the friend that put me onto the party line. We went to school together. We went to Bass Elementary School together. But he transferred to another school. But years later, we were adults. And I was in a house party interviewing. And I was like, you here? And I was like, oh my gosh, you this way? I didn't know you were this way. Because he was the ladies' man. All the girls was on him. And anytime at our lunch table, they'd be at our lunch table. If he wasn't there, they would not be at the lunch table. And we were good friends. We were cool. We were like real cool friends. And my memory is just so dope. And I said, I remember you used to write this on your paper. You used to put a cloud on your paper. And I was like, I didn't know you were this way. I was so like happy, but shocked. And then now going back, his voice was very feminine. I didn't know that then because all the girls there, I didn't know what gay was with this. I didn't know none of that like that. But when I saw him at the house party, and we still somehow talk today, and I remember it was his birthday, and he was like, Wiley, buy me something to drink. And I told the story before. So I never went to the liquor store before. I've been to liquor stores before to watch my mom get cases of liquor and stuff, but she never was the person to get like Hennessy and all that. That stuff was expensive. She would get like kegs and like cases of beers, Old English and all of that. But so I finally went to the liquor store on Ashland, and he was like, what do you want? And I said, can I get an extra large Hennessy? Extra large? He was like, extra large? What are you saying? He was like, do you want a pint, half a pint? I ain't know nothing to order. I'm thinking like ordering a cold Pepsi or something. Give me an extra large of some Hennessy. So he said, I said, okay, a half a pint. I didn't know. And I was so nervous because this is the first time I'm buying somebody some liquor. I don't know. I could count on my hands the many times I went to the liquor store and purchased liquor. I can tell you that right then and there how many times because I don't purchase liquor. Contrary to popular, I don't. I did that, and then we sat and we talked, and then I knew that eventually, like, we could not be friends because he was on a whole nother level. He wasn't right, things that I didn't agree with. So we just broke apart. Then there was another guy that we went to ITT Tech. Oh, I wish I could call him. I got to get him on the show when I go back to Chicago. But I'm going to tell this story. He's out the closet now, but I didn't know none of this. So it was this guy, and I told this on Patreon. I just want to tell it today. It was this guy. I went to ITT Tech. First, I went to Westwood College. That got shut down. So I had transferred first of all, the first school I went to was ITT Tech. So I went there, and it was so far from my house. It was in the boondocks. You had to take the metro train real far from my house. And then one day we picked up a conversation. I said, well, I live on the south side. He said, I live on the south side too. I can pick you up and drop you home. So I get in the car with him. He was a thug. But I was scared to like put on him because like he was a thug. Because I'm a church kid. He would listen to Jay-Z. He would listen to all his rap music. He would drive really fast. And I was really, really scared. My eyes would be closed. I would hold on to the thing. And he had a baby mom. He met me. He introduced to his mother. And I was just a church kid that was on the down low. And I'm trying to better get an education. So we did all that. Then eventually he left the school. I left the school. Then I went to Westwood. Then, Westwood shut down. Both of them schools shut down, by the way. And so years later, I met him on Facebook. And I was like, man, you that way? And so we eventually talked. And I'm like, what are you? Because I want to be those. Are you a top, bottom, verse? I'm a nigga. I'm like, what are you? I'm a nigga on play there. I'm like, okay. And I've always wanted to do him because I was curious to see my experience with this man because he's a thug. So, and then eventually we talked again about a couple of weeks ago, we talked. And then he said, well, I knew you was that way. I knew you were that way. And I was like, well, I didn't know you were that way. You hid it from me. I didn't know. But then when he came out, I got flashbacks and I can remember his voice, his mannerism, some things that I ignored once I got the truth. Because like my radar wasn't that great back in the day because I wasn't focused on that. What I was focused on was getting education, going to choir rehearsal. And so now I ain't see him last time in Chicago. I'm curious. We definitely gonna have to get it in. I'm curious now. I want to see how it's gonna taste, how it's gonna be. I'm just curious. Because when you're curious, I'm just curious. I'm just saying that. Because I'm curious to see how it would that be. Because I'm just really, 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 really curious. And then maybe I put him on the show. Okay. I'm definitely protective of minds. I'm trying to find a balance, but it's hard because I have a daughter. You have to be very, 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 very careful. I do want to experience that. I'm going to be honest with you. I do want to experience that man. Okay? Because I do have urge, but so I don't play around with women unless I'm ready. I still got a little, yeah. Okay? You know, it's that thug. Now I see what women talk about. That thug that does something too. You got a guy that's a thug, you know, and I would get, oh my God, he would take me to go, because he would go get weed. I didn't know nothing about that, going to pick up weed and all that. I was scared. I was a scared kid. I'm like, what are we doing? Weed, and he would talk to his friends and his gang talk or whatever talk they would talk about. Yeah. So I'm gonna see how it is, okay? And then I'll come back and give y'all the story on Patreon. I would definitely give y'all the story on Patreon, but I will tell you all this. I do feel for women that do have daughters. Just be very, very mindful of who you date, because you have daughters and sons. You got to watch for both. So just especially if you have any of you have kids, period, because you got to know if that man wants you or do he want your kids, because we're in a different time. It's been that way for a long time, but now you got to be more watchful. Because my brother, his mother got married, and with this man, he was a thug, and he would get it in with his wife. We would hear it all the time. I'm like, man, I want to do that one day. I want to do that, because that wasn't my mother. That was my stepbrother mother. And they would get it in. We would go and meet them in the projects. And I mean, this one, she was young. Good look at it. They would get it in. And I always want to know, what happened to this man? Why did they break up? But then it was like, because he started to mess with her daughter. And that was his biological daughter. That was his daughter. He was abusing her for over 10 years. Abusing her, Joshua, the mama, and the daughter. I said, what? Because we started to notice that she had issues and someone right. But I didn't know at the time, but we knew someone right. But then it came out that he were yet doing this to her daughter. And the guy was young. He was talking about the Bible, and he was a thug. And that's why I said you got to be very, very careful. He did not go to jail because she protected him. Like what I've heard from the situation, she protected him, and I think eventually he went on to jail for something else. But I don't think he went to jail for that, but for doing it with her. But he did go to jail for something else. But yeah, I was like, wow, that's just, you got to be very, very mindful and careful when you have that. And so when you have children, when you have daughters, and it was a lady at my church, her mom was dealing with this guy, and she thought he wanted her only, but she had 3 beautiful teenage daughters. And he slept with her daughter to get back at her and messed her mind up. And that's why I said you got to be very careful, because you think that you want they want your daughters, especially if you have daughters that walk around the house and this and that. You got to be careful with that. Even if that is your father, you still a young woman, a young lady. You have to carry yourself as such. But if you're dealing with a man that's a predator, you can have on a long skirt to your kneecaps, to your ankles. It ain't gonna stop that man to pray. And so you have to be very careful. It's women too. Because we always talk about the men's. It's some women that are out here that is destroying children too. It ain't just the men all the time. It is some women. And I didn't realize my eye wasn't open to that until my grandmother got a letter in the mail. She would get a list of everybody on the list, on the sex offender list, and she would get it to her home because she owned and operated a daycare center, a home daycare center. So the Chicago Police Department will always send us a letter every single month. I think it was every month or every quarter of the predators in the neighborhood. And I saw a lot of women on the list. So you got to be very careful. It ain't just always mean you got to watch out for women too. They can get around that because you can be like, oh, you don't hardly want to see because it ain't that publicized, but they out here doing it too. It's a woman that out here doing it too. You better call R. Kelly up. His own sister got him involved in some stuff. Let me shut up. You know, it was his sister that turned him out to that. According to him, according to that family, and the other brother said, yeah, it was his sister because she did it to me too. So you know, you got to watch out too for women and stuff like that because it's probably groomed because that's a spirit of it's a spirit that goes on. And then some families, and we were talking about families and pathology. We were speaking about that because it is some families. Even Tasha K did a story about this on her platform that are so conditioned to doing that activity, sleeping with different family members and all of that. What do they call it? Incest. It's like you can marry into a family that traditionally have been doing it since slavery and it's just down up to today. And you'll get caught up in that. You got to be very, 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 very careful because when Tasha K interviewed that family, it just broadcasts what is a truth in some families and of dealing with, you know, sleeping with your members of your family and all that. So that I highly suggest people to go listen to that interview and listen to that mother when she was talking about that family, and then she was spilling tea on other family members or doing the other family. Hello? Nothing doing a show about. I'm almost finished now. Okay, I will. All right, bye-bye. Yes, that's that you know, and all that. So like even like Antoine Fisher, I watched that movie and I remember in that film that guy was so destroyed. Now mind you, I'm watching this as a teenager and I didn't understand it until I got older. I'm like, and there's still some key points in that movie that I don't understand. Why did the Denzel Washington, that character did not want Antoine to be around his wife? I didn't understand that piece. Maybe somebody need to break that down. But in that movie, Antoine could not open up to women because a woman took something from him as a child. He was a kid and he was in this house and already his adopted mother, the one that was over him, was beating him. And then her daughter was abusing him. So I highly suggest people to go see that movie. Antoine Fisher, great film, by the way, and it will just open your eyes up to what we're currently dealing with today. My family and I don't go around them because sleep with cousins got children from one another. I can't even attend their function. Yeah, it's some family that is that way. And there's some families that does that. And it's normal. And all these people that get up and to them, it just is normal. It's just some family that it's been normalized behavior. And if you go all the way back, and this is why it is so imperative to research that family tree. And when you research that, you can track that spirit all the way back to 1866, 1875. You can track that spirit down. And that's why some families you can get involved with, you can get yourself in a mess. That's why they got to be research the family that you go into. You better research them and go back 30, 40, 50 years. But once you really research them and look at it today, it'll make a whole lot of sense. You research them, go to them genetics. Some of y'all better not go because you ain't strong enough. Some of y'all better not go and research some of y'all because you ain't that strong enough, baby. That little piece of hair that you got gonna fall out. So you better not go and research. Some of y'all don't do it because you ain't that strong enough. Some of y'all don't need to research it. You see it right before your very eyes and you keep it covering. You keep it, you don't want to address it. So a lot of people say they cringy, but some folks ain't. This is some people reality. So we always get deep on this show. It never fails. on the Wiley Show, this is the only show that I can tell that I've watched that, baby, we get deep in it. Oh, so I do want to talk about Joe Budden because I did not talk about him. I did see Joe Budden podcast. Everybody said, Wiley, watch it. And when he addressed Charlamagne the God, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, I listened to Charlamagne the God and I listened to Joe Budden. Joe Budden, I got it. His reason is I signed this Spotify deal to see what they do, what is they're doing, what is their formula, to understand the game of podcasting. And he said, once I started asking questions and they got caught on what I was doing, they started firing and getting new people. Because he wanted to know is in the contract, we have reached different goals and we reached that goal and beyond, and we still ain't getting our bonuses. Because he said the people that's in charge kept changing the rules. And he kept saying to Charlamagne, me and you are not the same. And he said, for you to be so bright, to have this big voice and to be ignorant to what I'm trying to do, it is sad. Because this ain't the first time that someone trying to open up Leonard's eyes, which is that's Charlamagne, to the point that what he's talking about is to pay me what I'm worth. If I made this Spotify organization millions of dollars, why I'm not reaping the benefits? And no, I'm not going to re-sign the rights of the show away because I understand controlling and owning and ownership. That's a powerful mindset. You got to know it is some people that are employees. Some people got an owner's mind. Some people got an employee mind. And you ask them the right type of questions and they will tell you where their stands. If you're not thinking like an owner, thinking like a boss, it will go what Joe Budden is preaching and teaching. It will go over your head because your eyes are not open because you're conditioned of being the employee. Because with the Breakfast Club, I can guarantee you that Charlamagne ain't getting what he is deserving of the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club make Power 105 one of the top radio stations in the world. Are they getting paid? Yeah, you the number one radio station. Yeah, y'all about to be probably in the Hall of Fame, but is your income equivalent to what you had delivered towards the iHeart family, right? And you don't own the Breakfast Club. So they can fire you today and hire a Wiley or anybody else to take your spot because you don't own it. So what Joe Budden is talking about, I own this. So we are not the same. And I'm fighting for this industry, fighting for ownership, fighting and telling this company, no, you're not going to abuse me. No, I don't want your money, that low ball offer. No, I don't want no used watch. They offered this man a used watch instead of giving him $1 million. Or what they're deserving of, what they put in the contract, but they kept changing the rules. And he wanted to know is, this is a $1 billion industry, and why I am not getting paid or getting the type of revenue that is deserving of this show, which is the Joe Budden podcast. So Joe Budden took a stand. And when you a black man, you take a stand, black folks that don't understand it will criticize you. It may be a decade later until they say, well, you know what, Joe Budden was right. Just like Dame Dash when he went on there talking about being a boss. Charlamagne was making fun of Dame Dash. Now Joe Budden was like, Dame Dash made a good point, and now you open your eyes up. Even to Monique. Now a lot of black folks, they're waking up to what Monique was preaching. But when she was preaching it from the mountaintop, her own community, sit down. Just take the money, Monique. Flip the 500,000. What are you talking about? But then when she went on there and spoke with Steve Harvey, and they sit down there and they had a conversation, it literally shifted. And now black people was like, oh my gosh, Monique is right. She's talking about integrity. She's talking about pay equality. She's pay me, not it's because of my resume. And then you saw how Steve Harvey got in that seat of privilege. And guess what they did to Steve Harvey? He tried to be a boss. He tried to own stuff. And them same white people that gave up snatched them shows off the air. Because Steve Harvey went to the people and said, I want to own Steve Harvey's show. I want to own it. and then whatever money we make, I pay you and I license the show back to you, but I want to own it. And they said no, and they let him go. They start to fire Steve Harvey because he did no longer wanted to be an employee. He wanted to be Oprah Winfrey and do the Oprah Winfrey route where I own my show, I own this show, and whatever we make, I pay you a fee, but I get the rest of the revenue because this is my show. And I house it on this network. And they told him no. They fired that man. He had a hit show, and they fired him. They started snatching opportunities from Steve. And he started to realize now, if you probably talk to Steve, he will be more understanding of what Monique was talking about. But he got in the seat of privilege. Didn't want to see it, but he had to take some stuff to get snatched from him. And then he started to say, okay, let me start buying the rights to Family Feud, and let me shop this to Africa. Because, let me just shop this show down to Africa. So, because I understand the power of ownership versus me being just a host. Because a host can be replaced, but you can't replace a boss and an owner. So back to Joe Budden, he is literally fighting for people to get great deals and get money and still own their podcast and not them be sharecroppers. So because of the fight, probably now Charlamagne got a great partnership with iHeart because of the fight with Joe Budden. Because of what Joe Budden, they weren't offering people exclusive deals for podcasting 3-4 years ago. It's because of the success of that black man, Joe Budden, and for the stands, now you're seeing people come out of the woodwork getting exclusive deals. But are you a partner or just a paid sharecropper? What is it? A partner is you still own your show. You get most of the revenue. This is your show. Or is it we market it, we do this, we own the rights, we own the name. Which one is it? What is this quote unquote partnership? Do they own this network or you are owner just in face, but on paper, I are owning? So I need to look at the contract. But what Joe Budden is preaching, I think most people that is a boss and an entrepreneur and a content creator, you want to go in the door owning your own content. You don't want nobody telling you something different. You want to own your content. And that's why I like Roland Martin, because Roland Martin owns Roland Martin Unfiltered under his company. I think that's dope. And what Joe Budden is fighting for, I think every black entrepreneur, every black boss, every black owner should rally behind that brother, because what he is saying is not wrong. It is right. You should own your content and you should get paid for what you are delivering. Every day, these black people that deliver the numbers, even what Monique said, we'll get them next time, Mo. When is the next time? And Monique kept saying it. Every time we reach a goal, you change the goalposts. That have been going on historically with black people in Hollywood. Black people, period. Anytime we accomplish something, okay, let's change the rules. Okay, let's change it again. We keep changing it for black folks. And then when black people that say, hey, I'm tired of this, I'm going to speak up, shine a light to this dysfunction, shine a light to this evilness, then you get we should be happy that you're getting this offer. But if you look at the $500,000 I'm offering you, or to Joe Budden, a couple of million, we ain't going to tell you, Wiley, we making $350 million off your podcast. We only offer you $2 million. But we're not going to tell you we made over $500 million off of your, but we offering you $2 million. Oh, we ain't going to tell you, Monique, that we offer you $500,000 for Monique's stand-up comedy show, but we ain't going to tell you we're going to make about $60 or $70 million off of it. But, so when you find out about it, even when you own a company, even some of these black folks that own these companies, if the white man offer you $5 million for your business, how much is that business really worth? How much they really going to make off that business? Because I think Ray J got his own headphone company and it's worth over, I think, $300 million. So whenever they get an offer, are you really going to sell it for $200 million? And they're going to make probably billions off of it. So you got to be very conscious on what you do. I really like, why do y'all sell stuff? But when it comes to Joe Budden, I support that brother. I watch his podcast. I listen to his, I watch it on YouTube. I'm addicted to the man's voice. He sweats a lot. He's very passionate. I don't agree with everything he says on this podcast, but one thing I do agree with him on is ownership, and I stand by that brother. And he told him, I don't need your money. When you tell the white man that you don't need their check, you saying no to that offer, you are a powerful, you showing true integrity and power, and people in authority and power are not used of a black man saying no to a bag of money. Because you saying no because you ain't really giving me what I'm worth. So I don't want that offer. I don't want that offer. And this is another thing on his podcast. You know, I listen. Tekashi 69 reached out to Joe Budden team to come on his show. And Joe Budden said, why do you want to come on my show? Do DJ academics. I have integrity. I'm not going to bring you on my show so you can drag other rappers and put this on. No. Your sales, then they started to expose his sales. Them is the real sales because now Billboard was like, okay, let's take out the bundles. Let's just do about pure sales. Sell it on its own. A lot of folks ain't really selling like that because they peep game that a lot of these artists are just bundling up a hoodie and just to get a good hoodie, they not really worried about the music. So Tekashi now is being exposed that he's not a great seller of music, that people are not consumed with his music. They are obsessed with his antics on social media. Just because you can act crazy on social media does not mean that it's going to get into real sales into that music. Once them numbers came out, in like 30, 40,000, 50,000, that is what it is. Them are your real numbers. And his album did flopped. So when Joe Budden said that, he said no because he have integrity. He said that word is missing on this show. Just like on the show, we had interviewed a cast member from G Status ATL Hustle, and I didn't like what he said to one of the moderators. So what did I do? I took the interview out. I edit the interview. I edit that part out. I did not keep it up because I have integrity. You're just not going to come and disrespect a viewer of mine, a supporter of mine, and I just keep the interview up. I have integrity. Though I may lose views, but I can still sleep with my integrity because I don't mind you getting upset, but if you try to drag somebody into a situation, I said, I'm cutting this out and put it right there. That's why you do that, because I have integrity, because everything ain't for a click and a view. Everything ain't money to me. It's mean for content. Contrary to popular belief, I don't do everything for a click and a view. It be some things I do have my limitations, and it will be cut out, and we have just move right along. So back to Joe Budden, brother. I love you. I would love to interview Joe Budden, and it seems like people are trying to label this man of being something that he's not because he is sticking up for ownership and equality. So they're always going to try to drag you into filth. But I'm listening to the message of what he's preaching. He's preaching about ownership. He's preaching about ownership and owning it. He owned Joe Budden podcast. You can't put you can't read ads put ads on Joe Budden podcast. Why? Because he put it in the contract. You can't do it. He kept saying, y'all don't know nothing about it, because what they tried to do, Charlemagne, small-minded, don't understand what Joe Budden is doing, right? Oh, negotiating the contract. He ain't negotiating right. He ain't do this right. He ain't do this right. He was just talking, just blah, 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 blah. But what I wish that Charlemagne the God would have did in that situation will call Joe Budden up and have a dialogue. And let's hear Joe Budden's side and let's hear your side. But he said a lot of things we signed it so I can see game and peep game, because he was talking about some stuff about podcasting that I didn't know, about the analytics, about this, and how they don't sell just one show. They put it all in one big thing, and how they will move the numbers up and move this up. Like he was, if you listen to Joe Budden, he's giving you real game that these people that's in authority and power want to keep hidden to the masses. They don't want you to know that. That type of talking that Joe Budden is talking about, he is literally trying to he's trying to disturb the system. disturb the status quo. That's what he's doing. And when you are speaking up for something to destroy it, you will be criticized by your own people. It may take them time to speak up, just like when Dr. King spoke up. He started to speak up against poverty, against all folks. He started to speak up against the war. They dragged him for it. And he was hurt because his own people turned against him. But now you appreciate what he did because you may be the only one standing up for truth, and everybody will be dragging. But at least you have the spirit of saying this stuff publicly. So one day my generation can pick up that book and appreciate the sacrifices that our ancestors have made. And I appreciate what Joe Budden have done because as a content creator, now I know how I have a better understanding of what to ask for and what not to take. And then also to be like, okay, I know how to have integrity. Let me do this and let me move away. Then I know how, just learning by Curtis Jackson, because I'm like, why is I reading these books about, negotiation and contracts and deals? Why is I reading these books? Because it's going to be one day I'm going to be in an office and I'm going to have a deal. And I don't want to go in there not knowing nothing. I want to know what is the analytics? What are you requiring? What can I do? I want to have creative control. I got to know what words to do. I got to know which attorney to talk to, right? And so, and I tell every content creator that are doing this is to study your craft. It's to study these people that came before us because the playbook is there. The knowledge and understanding is there. Only thing we have to do is go seek it, and we will find it and study and be a student of the game because it's out there already. It is out there already. You have to be prepared. So when you get that phone call, because it's going to come, oh, Mr. Wiley, this is such and such from the Zeus Network. We want to do some business with you. I don't want to go into the Zeus Network headquarters. I don't know nothing. I'm just there, don't know nothing what they talk about. Everything just sounds so foreign. I don't want to be that type of black man. No way. I want to be in there asking the right questions, leaving there, even the stuff I don't understand, leave there and get that information and get the right answer for it because you never want to go in business not knowing nothing. So study what you are doing in business, okay? I just said Zeus Network. I don't know why I just said Zeus. I just said it, though. And so I love Joe Budden. I love the fact what he said. I love Charlamagne the God. Both of them, the beauty of it, they both businessmen. They both bosses. And the one talking about it's a strategy. So I'm in love with that. I'm in love when they go back and forth. Because as a student, as a young black man, I'm learning from them. Even when Sean King wrote this book, and he was talking about organization. And he was talking about planning, how we should plan, and about the power of planning and putting a plan in motion. And I'm like, well, it have been many plans out there. Only thing we got to do is implement the plan that have been given to us forever and put it into motion. And I love studying, just reading and all of that. And one thing that I'm even observing about Joe Budden, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just keep putting work in. And put this job in and thank God that you are entrepreneur and you're looking at these different content creators. And this is why I support other black content creators. It makes me feel good when I see other content creators make it. It did not used to, because back in the day I had it. But now I appreciate it. You know how blessed it feels? I feel so honored when I see other people that I've used to know and I used to talk to actually doing great in the business. I think that's awesome, especially when I said, yes, brother, you're going to make it one day. I think that's an honor and it's a privilege, and it makes me feel good to know that it is some black people coming up. It is a next generation of black content creators that you will see. And with me, I have the spirit of, I said, you know what? I said, I love the fact that I'm seeing a new generation of content creators that are hungry for success. And I see them moving in the right direction. And I'm going to see these people on television, on movies, and I can say, I remember that brother or that sister from YouTube. I remember we used to talk on Facebook. And that to me, I feel that some people is about to get blessed, and I feel it in the atmosphere. It's a new generation of content creators that are coming up and that will be on the main stage, right? Because I sense it. I really, really sense it. And I see it for some people. I do see it. And I thank God for each and every one of them. But we will open the phone lines. We will open the phone. But I love seeing others succeed because I love it. I love studying. Even though I get on here, you may think I don't love it, but I do. I get on here because I entertain, I make a joke. But when it comes to like me being real, get on that phone with people. Because I got a phone call yesterday. Oh, Wiley, I'm about to get my own show. We starting this person reached. I'm starting my own digital show. And Wiley, I remember you kept on encouraging me to do this show. And guess what? I'm about to do it. And I signed a deal about to do this. This person contact. We haven't talked in a while. But he remembered me saying you need your own show. And he reached out to me. And I love that. Then I hear other people about to do other shows. And they are call me, hey, Wiley, I'm so happy. And I get so happy because some of these folks, I remember talking to them when nobody was checking for them. So I think I feel good getting those phone calls. And I also feel really great when you can call me and ask me for advice. Hey, Wiley, let me talk to you about this. How do you do the t-shirt? I got a phone call today. How you do the t-shirt thing? And I gave them the game. This is how you do it. This is do this. I didn't get out. Why are you asking me? Because I just love, if I have the information, people, I'm going to give it, period. It's just in my spirit. If you ask me, hey, Wiley, what about this? What if I know the answer? I'm just not one of them black men going to give you the runaround and not tell you the real information. I'm going to give it to you. Oh, but this is this and that. Oh, thank you so much. I may talk a lot of crap on the internet, but if you can reach out to me behind the scenes, I'm a totally different person behind the scenes. Very approachable. We can have a full-fledged conversation. And it would be great. And that's why I will always do it. If I see an idea for a different show, I'll be giving people ideas because I'm going to tell you, I love producing. I just love putting shows together. I love encouraging people. I will never forget I used to encourage Brianna, and I'm going to open up the phone line. Brianna is a content creator. I said, Brianna, do the content. It was something special about Brianna. Years ago, I said, Brianna, you got something special. Do this show. Do the show. Do the show. Do this. Because Brianna is so talented. And I saw it then and look at her now. Because I can humble myself and see talent. Because I could be a producer. I was like, okay, you can do this show. And there's so many other ideas that I want to tell Brianna. Because Brianna got something special. And I want that black woman to win because how Brianna is, I want that door to be opened up for that sister because what it does, it's going to encourage a lot of women that look like her to say, yes, you can be in media too. That this ain't no one size fit all. You could be a different type of size. You could be a different type of imagery and you could be in this space too because there's room in this industry for you too. And don't let nobody tell you that it's not because that is a lie because you got the talent. And I saw it in that sister. And she has something in there, and I will never forget it. Okay? I see it in it. Let's go to the phone lines. 8113, caller, you on the air. Hey, 8113.
Hello?
Hey, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, what up, man?
Hey, what's up?
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, who's this?
Hey, I just want to say, hey, man, like I like your talk soul radio. All right, bye.
All right. That was somebody on Blog Talk Radio. And I hear it. And just like I see something with, I see it with so many people. Y'all going to see some people on television we never seen before. They about to get some Apple podcast deals. And it's just gonna happen for them. Because I can sense people talent. Some people got that it factor, and maybe it's just you got it. You got it in your sleep. Some people got it. I love a person in her lab. Yes, and I definitely see it for these people, and that's why I always give credit to where credit is due. Okay, pokes out, and he got together. Yeah, I can sense that talent. I can just these people that y'all see now. I was with these folks when they were just on Facebook with maybe 3,000-4,000 people watching, and I say, hey brother, you know you got the talent. You got the gift. I'm not the easy person to work with, boy, baby, but I know how to encourage you. I remember, I gotta say this. I remember me and Ahmad, we were coming up, and I remember he used to get discouraged and never call me when you discouraged, because I know how to boost up the ego just like that. Don't worry about that. You got this. Do this show like this. You just let it. I can encourage you to keep going. I just have that. I always used to have that gift. Even when I'm down, I can like, you got it. You can do this. You can do it. Don't be discouraged. Because he used to be so doubtful. When he started his YouTube career, he said, well, if I started, what about this person and that person? And I said, you better than them. You got that it factor. You got it. And I used to say that. And he did it, and it worked for him. It really, really worked for him. And this is only the beginning of what God has in store for that brother. And because I saw it, and I will never forget the day I was on the phone and I came on his show. It was an episode, and he was so happy. He had 500 people in the chat. Because he never saw, neither one of us saw that many people. Because on Facebook, you never had. He was like, wow, did you see that? That was a legendary show. I had 500-600 people in the chat. I said, yes. I said, you got it, brother. You got it. And I remember saying that to him. I remember saying, I said, you got it. Because I sensed that. Because that is what his desire was, to be in front of the camera. And so when people ask me, they bring questions to me, and I always say this, I said I saw it when he was on Facebook. I sensed the talent, and I encourage him to get on YouTube, because YouTube where it was at. Because I think it limits him on Facebook, because I knew the business was different on YouTube. It was more of an entrepreneurship. Now I think Facebook, they're changing up to be more content, friendly. But YouTube is still where it's at as content friendly. And I said, YouTube is where you should be. And he got on there and he started doing his Love and Hip Hop reviews. And then this was before Tasha K, because he did Love and Hip Hop reviews. And this was before Tasha K came in the picture. Tasha K didn't start coming into the picture until a little later on when she had a story. And he just so happened to talk about the story. And that's how she started to go into his chat. That's what the real story. Wasn't that she came and picked up a mob wiggins again. No, she did not. He started covering that Star Marie story. And he said, I'm going to jump on this story. We didn't know who these people was. We knew who Cardi was. I didn't know who no Star was. We didn't know none of this stuff. And this before the interview. And then once she interviewed Star Marie, then he started giving out more and more commentary on the situation. Then she started to see something in him, and then she started to help him and all of that way. But he was yet doing it before she even came into the picture. And the only reason why she came over there is because he was covering that, and it was so magical to see that. And so I love that. So I love telling that. And one thing I can say too, I'm going to say this and I'm done with the show. Okay, let's get another caller. Is that I used to see when he used to purchase items for his show. Because he used to call me, he said, Wiley, I got this. This man will purchase TVs. And he said, okay, Wiley, I got this TV. We got to go live. And they had an Uvu app. It was Uvu. Y'all remember Uvu? Uvu was, you could have like 6 people on Uvu. And he would plug Uvu up on his television, use the phone, and everybody on the television, we would go at it. It was like a ghetto show. It was really, really ghetto, but it was entertaining. And we would be entertaining hundreds of thousands of people. And I played the conservative. I played the person, because we had somebody that was on there were positive, that was positive, and I would play the conservative. And I knew as a producer and as a friend what would make this entertaining. We all can't agree on something. So somebody got to quote unquote be the bad guy. And so I played the bad guy role on that show, and it was so entertaining. And that was before YouTube. And that style of it, because I understood how to put on the show, because I always put myself in the shoes of a viewer. What would the viewers like? They love to eat, entertain. And that is what we were doing. We were entertaining the masses on Facebook. And then we ended that show. And then he said, let's do another show. And then he had a bell. He would bing, 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 bing. And I said, okay, I love the bell. I would play the bad guy. You can make jokes about me. You play the good guy. You can make jokes. It plays. It's really good. And he said, well, let's do another show. Let's do the bullshit Bell show. I said, I think we should do it like the bullshit Bell show. Yeah. So we did a show. I will never forget it. I was in my other apartment. I was very manic. And that show was so freaking entertaining. It was entertaining. I had water on my face, Vaseline. I blew up a condom and I was playing. He said, do you got a condom? That I blew up a condom. I blew it as a balloon, put Vaseline all on my face, put nothing but water on my body. Whatever it takes, and the audience were just soaking it all up. They were living for it. The callers were calling in. Everybody was calling in. It was one of the best. That was a lit show that I did. It was so funny in the business, and it was entertaining, and I love that. And I said, this was a great show. And then the camera got off, and then I was sad because I'm like, I can't turn this off. That I'm still putting on the show. Ain't no cameras on. Talking to myself, hearing voices. And that's when I knew that was another sign that I was not well. But when that show was on, that's before StreamYard. That's when you can go live on there. And he was like, Wiley, put the phone that way so it could be side by side. And I put it on, and we put on a good show. I think if we would have kept that show, it would have been so profitable, but I wasn't well. I wanted him to, and then I had to get my mental stuff in order, right? So I was not well at all. I'm hearing voices and stuff like that. And we went on. I can see you. I could definitely see that too. So we moved on. I moved from that show. He went on to Facebook. He went on to YouTube, and that is what it is. But I always encourage him, and I always do that. And I always say, brother, you got it. Even though I can joke because I'm a jokester, sometimes I can't even turn it off. I'm addicted to joking. Sometimes I try to turn it off, y'all, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I can turn it off, but I really say he's one of the best because he has something special. He's very intelligent, and he's great on camera, and he's confident in himself, and he's so entertaining. He can describe a story like no other. That man can do stand-up comedy. He can do whatever he wants to do. The only thing that I want him to continue to do is to never doubt yourself. Once you tap into that, you can do it and can't nobody stop you. Never doubt yourself. That's gold. It's like every once in a while he do doubt himself, but you can't. You got to keep going. You can't doubt. Because I get into that, but you got to snap out of that doubt. You just got to do it. And my goal is, if you keep on moving, you will get there. If you keep on moving, you will get there. If you keep on putting it out there, you will get there. But if you doubt and say, I'm going to give up, you will never get there. You can't doubt. You can't doubt yourself. Because when you doubt and give up, you will never know. Because I can tell you from experience, giving up can hinder you. Because I gave up multiple times, baby. When I first started, I wasn't getting the numbers that I thought I should get on Blog Talk, in which I should have just done YouTube to stay consistent. I gave up. But telling you now, not giving up, when my cousin told me, and y'all pray for him, when he told me, he said, Wiley, do YouTube, but you can't give up. You always giving up. You're funny. You're entertaining. Oh, funny. I'll never forget. Oh, Lord. My cousin was like, you so funny. I'm entertaining. Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. You said do YouTube. Because I was crying every day. I would leave work crying and crying. I didn't have insurance. I cried about that. I cried because I was sleeping on the. I would cry every single day. And he said, "Why don't you bring back your show? You're good at that." And so one day, I did the show, and I kept doing it. And I remember I did an episode. I broke up with Amar Wiggins, and he wasn't dealing with me because I went to interview Jay Wilson, and that ended. And I was hurt, but I was very manic, but I cried. And then a viewer said, "Wiley, why won't you open up the phone? Open up the phone lines. Open up the phone lines so we can bring on the show." So I opened up the phone lines, and I was addicted to it ever since that day. I believe Nurse Nicole was on that episode. I continued to do the show, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop because I tapped into having an audience, and what it showed me that day, that you don't need somebody else to be somebody else's co-host or be somebody else's life, that you could do it on your own yourself, because the only thing you need is yourself. And I learned that day, and I said, I can do this, and I did it. And though I got off of this and messed up on many ways, but I'm so happy that I built something, just me and the audience. It's just us talking, and we're growing every single day. And I could remember that. I remember it because I've learned something from that moment, because anything that goes through is a teachable moment. I needed to be by myself. I needed to know, can Wiley do this? Can I do this? And because at one point I said, you know what? I just got to be in somebody else's life and just help somebody else, right? But then once that I couldn't do that anymore, then God was like, the only thing you need is yourself. And so I put myself out there, and man, the rest is history. Just episode after episode, show after show. And because of me, this mic and this Bluetooth speaker, we have went to places, and we're 3 million views in. And I thank you. And we done it independently, okay, by hard work, okay? And I thank each and every one of you all that were there. Some of you all were there in the beginning. I got some viewers that go all the way back to me on Blog Talk Radio. And because I understand the only thing I need is myself, and learn how to do it. And then another lesson I learned, that it is good to collaborate with people. I have to learn that. I'm still learning that lesson, right? I haven't mastered that, because I can destroy a relationship in a second. And so now I've learned how to call folks. At one point, I didn't care if I made whatever. I don't need you, whatever. But then it was 2 people in my career that I had to call and apologize with. That was Mob Radio, and that was Conscious TV. Both them people. And I called Conscious because I was wrong for what I did. I was wrong. And for the first time in my life, I took ownership for what I did. And then even for Millie, I took ownership. And so I reached out to those 2 people privately, and we resolved our issues, because I started to take, and I felt better when you can take ownership from what you did wrong. And you know what I'm saying? I take ownership for every single relationship that I had messed up. I know I have done wrong. You know, even for like about that's always gonna be a lesson for me. And I tell people, I said, don't do what I've done. If you know you've done something wrong, don't make excuses. Take ownership and apologize, because that don't make you weak. That don't make you weak, because that man could be out here cussing you out, acting crazy. But one thing I can say about Ahmad Wiggins, he was not wrong for how he was feeling. He was not wrong. He actually was hurt, and I actually did hurt him. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, multiple times. And what I have to understand is I have to take ownership for what I did. That does not make you weak, because I used to think, man, that makes you weak. Ownership, man, please look at what blah, 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 not what he did. The question is, what did Wiley do? And then once I answered that question, I said, okay, I did some fucked up shit. Very fucked up.
90 seconds.
Let's go to the phone lines. 0438, call you on the air.
Hi, Wiley. Hi, Chet. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
The chat had a whole bunch of questions, so I thought I'd answer them in public. And I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you very much for what you did, because I usually don't talk about what happened to me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, there was a lady that was on your call, and we were talking about God and the COVID church and how they pray. 60 seconds. They pray for the enemy to get you, which is so ass backwards. But yeah, it happened to me. My mother is my auntie. How do I say? She's my sister and my mother. My aunties are my brothers, and my uncles are my sisters. Yes, it's weird. It's crazy. But because of your show, I was able to release that in public, people who I don't know. And I thank y'all. Thank y'all for being there, encouraging me. Thank you for not shunning me. And I appreciate it. And it is good to apologize. So I've never gotten an apology from my family. I've apologized for my own thoughts, evilness of what I wanted to do to them. And so you do have to apologize, even to your own spirit. And so I just say thank y'all.
No, thank you, man, for sharing your story, for sharing that to the public and releasing that. So I thank you for that.
You will be great, Wiley. You'll be doing good things, and you're going to move higher. And I believe that.
Thank you, sister.
Said to be so.
Thank you so much.
Amen. Y'all have a good day.
All right, you too, sister. You too. And so, yeah, so it will be. Yeah. I love having talks with myself. Can I tell y'all a story? Thanks to that sister for calling in. I had a vision. I had a story. I don't know what it is, but I would just tell you. I don't know if it was a dream, but it was on my mind, and I'm going to share. So it was an event that was going on, and this is me in the business. I made it in the business, right? Been in the business, successful. I got a syndicated show. I'm a producer. Everything is just going good for my career. So I'm in this party, this event. And mind you, I rarely go to events. But this particular event we go to. And I see Bob Wiggins, he's at this event too. And I said, oh, wow, how you doing, brother? And he said, I'm doing good. And I remember I said, let's go to the kitchen. I got to tell you, we'll talk. And so I remember that I sat in the kitchen, and this was in my mind. And I said, you know, I never would have thought that we would be here. Because I remember when we were just young kids talking about our dreams, and now we're here. I think he had got some awards, whatever he have gotten. But I remember I apologized to him. This is because I'm watching Oprah. Because he said, because of all we can say, I just knew I was watching something. Because he said, you are already forgiven. You don't need to apologize. You're already forgiven. Your apology is not needed. You're already forgiven. I'm like, why is he talking like Oprah? Then I thought about it. I said, I'm watching too much interviews and stuff. Because I'm watching Iyanla Vanzant and Oprah Winfrey interview, and them messed up, and they came back and apologized, and Oprah told Iyanla, you're already forgiven. You don't need to apologize. And he said the same thing. I'm like, why did he say that? But I just remember just talking with him. We were talking, and then we were laughing. And we had a beautiful conversation, and that was like, it was no audience. It was just really it. I was, of course, drinking, and he was like, "Yeah, girl, you talked about me doing all the drinking, now you drink." I was like, "Yeah, I got some sponsors now. I got some sponsors, and I was in there drinking. And he was like, "You drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah." I had a sponsor, and we was just up there just talking. He was talking about his business, his career, and we were both like just talking. I'm like, why is the world going back with this stuff? He was literally on my mind. And I was in there just drinking, and we just talking. I was in there drinking. I was in there right now. And I just remember just apologizing to him. And I remember telling him I was sorry. And when we had that conversation, I just remember I said, brother, I was wrong because I was wrong for what I did and for what I put you through, because I was so wrong for that. and I was drinking, and then we went our separate ways. He went where he went. I went where I went, and it was just like poof, I was out of that mind, like shoot, it went back to regular, it went out to regular, just regular programming in my mind. But I remember that, and we were just up just talking, and I remember we sat in the kitchen, we were talking, and we never met. Now, mind you, we never met in person. But then we finally met, and it was like years. We were both successful. And I remember I had to apologize, and I felt a relief. And I took my drink, and I went on and had a good time at that party. I remember I got up there, and I went on and had a good drink at that party. But yeah, so I could just tell you where you went wrong, and that's a therapeutic. And I was like, because you could just definitely say that, you know. And this was like way. You know, in this situation, whatever situation you're in, if you mess up, it is okay to apologize. Even if you didn't do nothing wrong, it is so human of you to say, you know what, I apologize, sister and brother, I apologize. And listen to what that person is saying and try to work it out. And that is what I had to say about that. Stay true to God and who you are. And amen to that. Amen. Stay true to God. Stay true to who you are. So we could definitely have a sleep. But I came and did this show a little late today because I wanted to talk to y'all, have a conversation. We discussed a lot of subject matter, and I had to do that. Are you going to oh, absolutely. In real life, when I meet, you have to apologize in real life. If I meet that brother, definitely would be an apology because it's needed. And it's different when you meet somebody in person and you ain't got people around you, because when you ain't got your crew, this person ain't got their crew, and you see that person, that you might as come on, you ain't got all that. Ain't no cameras, ain't no nothing. You could just apologize for what you did wrong, right? You could definitely do that. And this ain't about being no friends. This is about apologize for what you did wrong, because you can apologize for what you did wrong. You may not never ever had a relationship back, but you apologize. That's the key, is to apologize. You might be in a relationship. You might did the girl wrong, and she moved on with her life, and you might come there and apologize, not to get her back. It's just to clear you and to clear that the air and just to apologize. You may not never see that person again and move on with your life. And when you apologize, you don't do it again. Absolutely not, because the stuff that I did, I was stuff I'm not gonna say what I did, but I did some things. I did do some things, some evil stuff. Did I do that? Did I do that? Heck yeah, I did it. Yeah, and you move on with your life. But I had to say that today because I had to, and I felt like talking about it today because we talk about some stuff on the Wiley Show. It won't be a Wiley Show if we can't talk about things. It won't be a Wiley Show if we can't get deep into conversations. And we have these talks like I'm talking to y'all like we talking against 60 million people. Took the words from the Speak Baby. It's the right thing to do. Apologize, open doors for a better relationship. And it does. And I think for that situation, other doors have definitely opened up. And I've learned that everything ain't meant for the media. Because when my friend, me and Jaquez, when we broke up, when we were going at it, we did not take it online. We did not take it online. No one knew unless you knew us. It was not online, but it was a very nasty breakup. It was a very nasty, our friendship, I wasn't in the good because the stuff I was saying to him was very nasty. And I was on the Greyhound bus and I was letting him have it. And he wasn't deserving of that. And that just reminded me of the things I was saying to him. Because he wasn't deserving of none of that stuff I was saying. I just said it. Just randomly just called me. He just got dragged. Like, what's the reason? And we stopped talking for a long time. But then he noticed that something was wrong. And then I had to apologize to him. And I haven't seen him in a long time. And then eventually I met him and we talked. And now we just as great friends. And I think the friendship is stronger because, you know, it did not go online. We were able to resolve that off camera. And so when we get on camera, it's a different feeling, you know. It makes you what you got to. Yes, I love him. And he was my friend when people didn't want to be my friend. And he, people will come down all the time. Why are you friends with Wiley? Because he know my spirit. And I just remember him and his career. I'm doing music, and I was his photographer, manager, whatever it is. And now I look at him now, I'm like, look, it's just full circle. And now I have an audience now, and I can introduce him to my audience. And he remembered me, coming up in this business. And he was there. He saw it. He saw me in house parties. I met him in house parties. I would have my camera. It was before you go live, and I would upload it with the memory card on my computer and put it on YouTube because I've always wanted to work in media. And I just started it, and I said, let me just do it the Wiley Show. And I did it. And now look at me now. And this is just the beginning. Yes. Yeah. So let's look at God. I remember that because me and him we were going at it really, really heavy. We go from those conversations to church to apologize only on the side chick show. Yes, over here, you're going on a roller coaster over here, baby. I'm going to tell you that right then and there. This the show we will take you on the roller coaster. Good memory card. Yes, good old memory card. Upload it, put it on there. And I can really tell you that even for this show, I just have so many memories of people that I've talked to, and I'm so happy of where the show is going. Somebody said it went down to yes, it did. So thank you all for the support, and I love it. And this is the formula of the show. What we talk about now, I know how to chop up segments. So if you missed the full-fledged show, you can catch segments of the show. And when you do it, I sit back, I love the comments, y'all. Oh my God, the good, the bad, whatever. I can sit down and watch read the comments, and I really be getting my life. I'm like, yes, y'all are watching the show. So thank you for that. Thank you. Absolutely. I love it. So we talked about everything. I'm done. Did I talk about everything? Hold on, let me make sure. I talked about everything today. Yes. Somebody said something here. I love you are such an avid reader, Wiley. I've been following you since the beginning of the year, and you always reading. You should start a book club with some of your subscribers. No. This I like when the videos are shorter. I like because you get different people that never hardly come before. So we're going to be chopping up some videos today. Let me read. Wiley Group Therapy says, yes, I love it. Absolutely. And I wish it well. And on this show, it may be that I drag and I roast, but baby, I can be real with you. And I see it for folks. I love it. And I love when I speak things into existence and it happens. And I remember we were struggling on the Wiley Show to get to 10,000. And I remember we were struggling. When I got there, I felt like we was at 1 million. And now we almost at 12. And I'm happy because we putting in work. This don't come by just it was given, baby. You gonna work for it. And then a year from later, you're gonna see more growth. A year from now, you're gonna see growth. A year from now, you're gonna see it. And it is what it is. And when I was reading Sean King's book, Sean King put me in his Instagram story, and I want to interview Sean King. Put that in there. I want to interview that brother because when I was reading his book, I was really getting my life. Thank you, Miles, producer. I'm saying that right. Yes, you should. So absolutely, it went from 10K to almost 20K. We're skipping past 12K, going straight to 20K. Okay, and that's the goal to 20K. And I'm here for it. Last year we was when you stopped letting the B sector rule the chat, you went up, and I love it. Yes, and now we rarely get people from the B sector. They rarely come in the chat over here. We got new folks, a whole new generation. They don't hardly come over here. Baby, I can't even tell you the last time I saw something from the B sector. It's hard for me to tap into it because like my spirit have went other way. I'm in books, reading books and stuff like that. It's hard for me to get to B sector, child. I be up here reading books and getting into content. Write the vision and make it plain. That's the word. Amen to that. Amen to that. Amen to that. Come on, somebody. It is what it is. Thank you. Please leave a comment to all the folks that came here. We'll be back tomorrow. Also, we'll be chopping up some videos. I may come back live after G Status ATO Hustle because we do want to host that show. So I'm hearing that it's going to be a great episode tonight. So don't be surprised if I go live after it aired. Okay, so I will see you then, but I can't make no promise because, you know, they may or may not drop the episode. So y'all pray for the production team over there. They're trying to get their episodes out. So I hope and pray that they get it out today. Wiley Brother like to say, complacent to the end of beef. Yes, that's boo. That's better if the troll. Red as Harvey in the chat. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all. All right, y'all. Gotta go. Let me go. Peace. Oh, thank you so much to all of the people that have donated today. God bless you. And for those that sent something to the P.O. Box, thank you. Also, my birthday is November 11th. So people are saying they're going to send me gifts. So I'm excited for that. I'll be 30 years old. And I'm excited. So I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.